The date is the 22nd of February 2018, and along has rolled another pantomime. Jack and the Beanstalk helps mark the 39th anniversary of the St. John's Pantomime, with the seats filling up at their usual impressive rate, packing our shoebox hall. The audience eager for their hour and a half of entertainment and laughs. The cast themselves ready backstage with a few faces you may recognise in the most flattering of pictures. But how much does an audience really know about what goes into a panto like this? Past the makeup, past the plaited hair, the oh no it isn't, below the belt jokes and bright costumes. The months of practicing on our little stage, striving to be bigger than the Albert Hall. It's time to look at the panto a bit deeper. It's time to see that usually reserved for the cast. It's time to meet our performers.
Alright, state your name and your role in the...
Full name, Alice Perry, and I played Mr. Sausage.
Oh, okay, it's fine. Lily Smith, Poison Ivy, Rachel Bundy, and I was Very Bean Sprout.
And I'm Lucy Rutter, the sexiest, and I played Odrous
Funny
Can I
joke.
put that in?
My name is Lewis and I played Tibia, the sidekick of the evil baddie Poison Ivy.
That's Chip's fault,
Yeah, you're Chips, yeah.
I forgot.
I am Mike, normally the villain, but not this year. I played Mr. Egg.
I'm Harry, I played Mr. Chips.
I'm Dan, and I played Dan.
My name's Jane, I was the executive producer and Kel.
I am Helen, and I was the other producer and the, what did we say?
You're also the Kel.
Yeah,
but
also
for lots
the
of
Kel.
different reasons.
Banana thrower, and turning on and off of the music in mostly the right places.
My name's Louise and I played Princess Jenny.
I'm Danielle and I played the King.
The opening night is the impression, usually the busiest and the one that really shows how far our rehearsals have brought us. It's interesting to know what everyone else thinks of the first curtain draw.
Opening night went really, really well.
Yeah, I think the last year as well, the last couple of opening nights have been fantastic.
Kids are really excited and we're really, really scared.
We were a bit scared this year.
We were scared this year.
But I do enjoy opening nights in general.
I think the first night is always like one of the most nerve-wracking ones.
Because I guess like one of the most best is the Carl Green.
It's like
You're obviously most nervous.
Yes.
And then the audience is quite good though because it's a new audience and they haven't seen it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I was on first, so
I'd like to say a welcome, but it simply isn't true. For I am Poison Ivy, the one you hiss and boo.
opening night's always, you've got your nerves on opening night because you've spent so many months on this pantomime since September and it's finally the first night that you're gonna show what you've got to the audience. So it's quite scary, but it's also really fun. It was good.
to be honest, I think it went better than expected.
Yeah, there was a lot of like,
You did well. You look very nice. I wasn't talking to you, Danielle. I'm kidding. You look nice too.
For the cast, rehearsals start in October, with scripts anyway. The process starts even before then. Script writing, song teaching, even assigning parts I'm told is very hard. It's clear to see that opinions differ on the process as a whole.
Comments on the rehearsal process as a whole, like, just like, what do you think about the rehearsals that we do?
I think it was okay. There was a few naughty moments from everyone.
The dance.
The dance is
When we teach
yeah.
Get off and show them.
Oh no, it's my dance, so
And what way?
it's
What
like,
is it now?
I'm doing it that way.
Okay. And
Which way?
The after practices when the older ones
Yes.
stay are always good fun.
Yes,
Very good fun.
they are funny. The dances, learning the dances, and they're just they're just funny.
Well, it starts off really positively, and everyone's keen in October and November.
Yeah, they can't wait for the scripts
Yeah.
and to learn the lines.
And then we get to Christmas, and people haven't bothered to learn the lines, and there's a bit of a dip, and then we come back in January, and then it gets towards performance, and everyone thinks they ought to make a bit more effort again. So it's good, bit low,
Yeah.
good at the end.
Painful.
Bloody long.
Very, very painful.
What is sleep when you're doing these pantos?
It's like a moment that happened during the whole rehearsal process that you remember.
When Danielle fell off the pennyboard.
That was pretty funny.
Stacked it.
That was. Did it even make a noise? It just went. It was pretty.
No performance will ever run smoothly at our level. This isn't Les Mis on Broadway or Swan Lake. Things go wrong. Whether that's Louise, unbeknownst to her, walking out of camera view, or Alice breaking cutlery, it can happen to anyone.
Things that didn't quite go right in the pantos. Are there any that you can think of? Any moments that didn't quite go to plan?
When Harry threw the wall from me, I think 2 of the 3 nights, it went past me. I mean, it still soaked me a bit, but it didn't work, so that didn't quite go right.
Messed the first scene.
Yes.
The first scene up a couple
When Lily goes, I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that, sorry.
When Lily was running through and she got caught to the beanstalk.
On the last night, I was trying to walk off, and this is the penultimate scene. I was walking on, like, mum was like, oh, last appearance, you gotta get all pumped up. So I was like, oh yeah. And then the song, and my head dress got stuck on a beanstalk, so.
My wedding house, as a matter of fact.
As mentioned before, 3 nights performing a panto will never be easy for us amateurs. Sorry. Unemployed, undiscovered gems. That goes the same for who you get in. Sandwiched in between opening and closing night is Friday, a day that brings a shudder to anyone who hears its name.
The Friday night curse.
No, there was nobody there.
It's a bit boring.
Yeah,
I
expected
it when there's a bit of a dead audience.
No,
I don't feel like you perform as well.
Not to I think this year the audience always dips a bit on a Friday night, but I think the Friday night audience weren't too bad at all this year.
No.
Do you?
No, they were good.
And they actually the kids actually did quite well because the kids usually aren't as good on the Friday.
In the olden days, it always used to be the best night because
Yes.
Thursday people were a bit nervous. Friday, they all got it really good, and Saturday everyone went a bit mental. So actually, Friday used to be the best night, but now it is a bit of a dip. But this year, I think it was
No,
good.
I did. I think that everybody. I think all the kids sort of performed well on each night.
39 years of pantomimes is quite a while. None of our bigger casts have anywhere near those numbers under our belts. However, Helen and Jane have more or less been around since day one, and our ever-present talented dame that is Joanne has a fair number racked up over the years. But this poses the question, how does this panto weigh up to those gone before?
How do you feel this panto compared to others that we've done? Like, any sort of, in any sort of way, just like how do you feel this like compared?
I think it was good.
Yeah. I had a different role
I think
this
like
year,
Mother,
so
Mother Goose and last year were like the top one, so they took some beating, but this one was still a good panto. I did
shout out to my mother. She thought it was the best panto she's ever seen
fair enough.
that we've done. So, and obviously playing a different role, as I say, I'm normally the villain. You know, it was exciting to see.
I think it was a more personally, it was more relaxed. Like I didn't stress about anything. I think we didn't really stress as much either. It wasn't smooth sailing, but It was smoother than usual.
I mean, I spoke to some people and they were saying it's one of the best ones that we've done in a
Yeah,
while.
I really enjoyed this one.
Oh, last year compared to last year, it's so much better.
Would any of them like?
I feel like this year, I feel like all of our parts are like much better. So
We've all
we
broke
away from everything.
Right, this is going to sound really cringy, but the bigger class, like the old one, they've kind of grown closer, so it's a lot better. And there's a lot more chemistry on stage.
Yeah, it's easier for us to like perform, especially because we're all
because we're all out of character half the time. We're not even doing it.
We've all got our own parts and it's just like...
Yeah, I feel like this year for our parts especially, we've really come into our characters and our personality shone through our characters.
But you see, when you finish it and you watch it on DVD, you think, oh, actually, that was really good. Oh, that was really good. But then when you watch old ones, you think, oh, actually, that was really good. That was really good. So I think it was up there on a par. I think it was as...
I think there are moments in it that were really
Yeah,
good, like
yeah.
the hero dance and some of the cow bits and some of the kids' dances.
So yes, I think it was, you know, on a par.
For the audience, all they see is what happens on stage. But just out of sight, everyone has several jobs, whether that be curtain closer, scenery changer, prop hunter, or simply kids please be quieter. Difficulties are always faced on a panto night.
Yeah, scenery changes, props, getting the kids where they should be, especially those that don't want to, that don't listen.
Getting the axe or the rudder on stage.
Three, five, four, from. I get you, you're all so dumb.
I'll use this.
3, 5, 4, 4. I get them, I'm all so dumb.
I should use the sharpest thing I have, my wit. Explain the sandy wig and what went wrong with that.
Well, we've had a sandy wig for quite a while. It was there for the dress rehearsal. And all of a sudden, just goes missing. But, tidying up, we found it. It's in one of the boxes.
Our biggest thing is the first 5-10 minutes with the seats and the keeping seats and the people
jumping right
to the front
queue.
of the queue, even though we ask people not to do it. And I think that I don't think
Makes it
people
stresses us out
people
so
don't
much.
realise how stressed it makes us because we want it to be fair for everybody, and there's nothing that we can do about this because it's adults. So that really, I think, once that's over with and we get to 6:15 and that's sorted, then it's not so bad. That's the worst bit for us.
Yeah.
Like a cheese, movie, One Direction member or celebrity, everyone has a favourite, and I was interested to hear what really stuck out for our cast.
Favourite part of this panto, of the one we did?
Scene 9.
Jack and
Behind the
Dixon.
scenes.
No, on the night.
Scene 9.
Scene 9.
See, that's exactly what Rachel said. Scene 9.
Hero.
Yes, definitely the hero dance. Definitely.
When we throwing the milk to the cow, that scene.
That's what I said.
That was funny because like all the jokes and that one was just hilarious.
I quite enjoyed hiding under the table. That was good. And mine and Michael's little chats under the table.
Or one of them. Yeah.
I love the hero dance.
Yes, I think the hero
I
dance
did
was
love the hero
brilliant.
dance.
Saturday, the final night. It has been the case for as long as I can remember. In our audience, we usually have those who attended each night. So out of the kindness of our own hearts, we may add a few extra bits.
The Saturday night script throughout.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
It's not the panto if you don't change the script.
Like, right from when you get your script, you're already looking through like,
Let's
I will
change
do
this.
this.
Change that. And the producers sometimes pull their hair out over it.
Yeah, I'm always a little bit worried. Although I trust you all that you're going to do a fabulous job, so that was fine.
So basically, on a Saturday, the script goes out the window. And it's just like, where you can just throw in extra things, extra lines, and there's kind of a little trick to try and get people to be tricked by it, even the cast. But yeah.
Oh my god,
Brilliant.
every Saturday, all the pantos, everyone just doesn't care about the script.
Anything can happen.
And
And
it's
like,
just unpredictable, it's the funniest.
and like,
Stage, it's hard to keep
and
up
especially like when someone does it and they haven't if they've planned it and told no one, or if it's just a blow at the moment.
Yeah.
And you see all of our reactions on stage, and we try and keep it together.
It's so hard sometimes.
Pantomimes are best known for their traits and, more importantly, jokes, and ours are no exception. Probably one of the most important factors, the St. John's pantomime is more often than not rammed to the brim with jokes.
Favourite panto joke, and that can be this or any other, like a panto.
I can only do this panto for favourite panto jokes. So I loved the peas one. Goes and peas. I love that one. Goes and peas. Yeah, I like that one.
How dare you! I'll have you know it is an excellent garden dinner.
Yes.
Of course, it's at least 3 times a day, you know.
Yes. In the morning, he goes among the cauliflower and sprints.
And before dinner, he goes amongst the onions and leeks.
And I see him on the way home from the pub. He goes among the cabbages and peas.
The cow jokes are funny, especially with Buttercup.
She milking the bees.
It was just such a, especially Buttercup Maggie, like the jokes really come to life.
Mine was from last year. What was it? You know what one it was? I can't think of what it was. The dad one. Was this?
Oh, I know what you mean, but I can't. You know
the pill.
Yes, we've been walking for miles. Just like that time I went on a trip to Viagra. You went where? You know, where it's been awful. My friend, you mean Niagara? Ah, yes, Niagara. Mind you, I have put Viagra in my tea once.
Did it have any effects?
Well, yes, it stopped my biscuits from going soft.
It's always the dirtier ones that get the best reaction because of the audience full of parents and adults.
I'd say the Viagra joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Viagra joke.
I think the thing that made the boobies joke funny this year was every night I knew it was coming, I couldn't keep a straight face.
Yeah, the last night I was gone.
we were gone.
I was just like, no, I'm gone. I cannot say this now.
Talking of milking, you can't forget to milk those bees.
What kind of bees, dare I ask, give off milk?
The boobies!
I think the one from this panto that got me, because I was always just behind stage, was the boobies one. So that was funny.
Oh, the one about Dan says about milking the bees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's boobies.
Also, a little side note. I was speaking to someone recently, this older gentleman who came and watched the pantomimes, and he thought that this part here was somehow a trick. He didn't conceivably see how that I, with my 5'9" frame, could catch the 6' Dan as easily as I did. And I just want to tell you all right now that Dan weighs about as much as a feather. That man floats into my arms. If I saw him flying around, I wouldn't be that surprised. Opinions on others' performances are kept low for reasons of, well, unless we really want to congratulate a person, we don't see the need. But I wanted to see who thought who had done particularly well this year.
Who do you think did the best this year? Who do you think excelled the most?
Yeah. Well, she came out of a shell tonight. Yeah.
Everyone?
Dan did really well. I think Dan did.
Excellent. Oh, lovely answer, Louise. Lovely answer.
Lily. Being the villain. She knocked it out of the park. That's coming from someone who knows what it's like to be the villain, the expectation on the charisma and the personality you've got to set.
Lewis as well.
And Lewis.
And Charlie.
Yeah.
All the big ones, you know who you are. All the big ones are excellent for their own reasons. So I can't really pick. I could say, oh, such and such, oh, then such and such, oh, then so. It'd be difficult to sort of, you know. And the little ones, you don't pick anybody out, do you? Because they all do really well for their own reasons. I mean, a couple of names spring into my mind, but I don't really want to.
With 40 years on the horizon, will you be here next year?
I can see my house from here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a stupid question. I'll be here till I'm 100.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Obviously.
Yes.
I have to wait and see. Can't give anything out too much. My contract's not been discussed yet. It was ripped up 2 years ago.
God,
3 years
yeah, I
ago.
remember
So,
that. I remember that.
By you actually.
It was by me.
No singing and absolutely no dancing.
Come on, Shay Khan. Find the rhythm, tap those feet, let the beat rule your feet.
Will we be back next year?
Well, you see, we're putting all the costumes away, saying things like, if we do such and such, if we do such and such, because we said we were doing another one. But, the thing is, you are all so good, and you do, the big ones just really entertain. You make us laugh, and we make you do really stupid things, and everybody does them, and it's, you know, so it would be a shame not to.
It's a fantastic group of young people to work with.
It
It'd be
is,
such a
it
shame
is,
not
so
to do it.
at the
So
moment,
probably.
at the moment, it's more yes than no.
We ought to say, what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger thing?
I'll be back.
I don't know.
Oh, contentious.
I don't know.
Well, folks, that is it for this year. The curtains are closing and the finale is finished. But before I go, there's just a few things that I'd like to say. Thank you to the first-time witch with her comedy and glare. Thank you to the fairy who pushed the pantomime along with rhyme and song. Thank you to the girl who finally flew out of her shell. Thank you to the princess who, to be honest, acted genuinely interested in me, which is pretty great acting in itself, but seriously played the role as sweet as can be. The kindly father who just wanted the best for their daughter. The sassy skeleton who I still don't understand can be this good at so young. Our Prime Minister for being as good as the one we have at the moment. To the bad guy turned good to lead his motley crew. To Sausage, who I received nothing but shining reviews about. To Chips, who slam-dunked a bucket better than Shaq. To the ever-present Dame, and who is ever fabulous. To the best brother, albeit fictional, a guy could have. To the two who balance us all on their shoulders and manage to forget the stress every year. Thank you all. To me, your narrator, you're all so important, and I couldn't ask for a better group to share time and memories with. I love you all deeply and can't wait until next year. And thank you, audience, for watching. Now that you see us a bit more clearer, maybe you'll bring more next year. And that's the end of the panto. Oh, well, sorry, video. And so the script says...
I'm sure we can all enjoy
Happy days!
Happy days, Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days, Thursday, Friday, happy days, Saturday, what a day, cruise all week with you. These days are ours, happy days.
hold me when I hold you. It's alright. Let me rock